Uh, Hello children, so moving further in this chapter we are here with this new video, and this topic deals with therapeutic action of different classes of drugs. Now we will study about various type of drugs and as medicines, how these drugs are useful for our body and what kind of action they show in our biochemical reactions. So the first in this row is antacids. Acidity is a very common problem we face, like overeating. Sometimes due to overeating, acidity causes, or maybe due to some other digestive issues, the acidity occurs. So in that case, we take certain medicines to remove the excess acid, and that is known as antacid. The overproduction of hydrochloric acid in the stomach causes irritation and pain. The substance which neutralize the excess acid and raise the pH to an appropriate level in stomach are called antacids. For example, commonly used antacids are sodium bicarbonate, magnesium hydroxide, etc. Like we take medicines like Digene or Gelusil, they contain sodium bicarbonate and magnesium hydroxide kind of things. But we need to understand here one thing, that if we use excessive bicarbonate, since bicarbonates are alkaline in nature, so if we use excessive bicarbonate, it can make stomach alkaline. And when the stomach will become alkaline, it will, what happens, the environment of the stomach will become alkaline, and it will trigger, it will start producing more acid, and then it will be dangerous. It will start producing more acid, and hence taking these compounds like sodium bicarbonate or magnesium hydroxide based compounds is not very advisable. Therefore, it is said that metal hydroxides are better alternatives because these are being insoluble, do not increase the pH above neutrality. So this is a very important question which has been asked in boards as well, that why metal hydroxides are better alternative with respect to bicarbonates. So here is the answer, that metal hydroxides are better alternatives because these, being insoluble, do not increase, this is your key point, they do not increase the pH above neutrality. A major breakthrough in the treatment of hyperacidity come through the discovery of histamines, which stimulates the secretion of pepsin and hydrochloric acid. Histamines are the certain kind of compound, and in stomach they stimulate the secretion of pepsin and hydrochloric acid. Therefore, drug cimetidine was designed to prevent the interaction between histamine with the receptors present in the stomach wall. So this drug will prevent, it act as a inhibitor, and it will protect the interaction between this histamine and receptors of the stomach, and when this will happen, the stomach will stop producing extra acid or hydrochloric acid, and acidity can be removed. So this drug is highly used nowadays. In the medicinal name of cimetidine is, we use it in Zintec or Rantic. So this is a very important drug. Now the second one in this row is antihistamines. It has been observed that some persons are hypersensitive towards medicines, drugs, pollen grains, particular type of food or fabric. This is a common observation, that few people, they are hypersensitive, they are sensitive towards certain thing. In common language we say that we have allergy of this food or this cloth, or dust, allergy of dust, or allergy of pollen grain. So this type of hypersensitivity is known as allergy. Okay, now this allergy is due to release of certain substance which is known as histamine in the body. The drug which interfere with the natural action of histamine by competing with the histamine binding site of receptor where the histamine exert its effect is known as antihistamine or anti-allergic drugs. So all drugs which prevent the histamines to binding from this receptor are known as antihistamines. For example, cetirizine. Evil is a very common anti-allergic drug brompheniramine is a drug which acts as anti-allergic drug. So these drugs are known as antihistamines or anti-allergic drugs. Now the third one in this row is neurologically active drug. There are many medicines which come under this category. The first one is tranquilizers, drug which is used for the treatment of stress, fatigue, mild and severe mental diseases are known as tranquilizers. They relieve anxiety, stress, irritability or excitement by inducing a sense of well-being. Actually, tranquilizers are those drugs which we take when we feel stress or we feel depression, or it is given to those patients who have some kind of mental disorders. So there are many types of tranquilizers. Various categories of tranquilizers are there. The first is antidepressant. Like noradrenaline is one of the several neurotransmitters. About neurotransmitters we have studied in last video. Noradrenaline is a kind of neurotransmitter which play an important role in mood changes. If the level of noradrenaline in the body is low for some reason, then the message transfer process becomes slow and the person suffers from depression. We commonly use and hear the term depression nowadays. So actually depression is caused by a particular neurotransmitter which is known as noradrenaline. When the level of noradrenaline in the body is low, then the person suffers depression. Now what happens, what these antidepressant drugs do, in such cases what happens, antidepressant drugs are used. These drugs inhibit the enzyme which catalyzes degradation of noradrenaline and thus the person is saved from the depression. The common drug used is iproniazid and phenelzine. Second is hypertensive drug. These drugs are used by those patients who suffer from high blood pressure. The very common drug which is given in case of which is used as hypertensive drug is Equanil. Then hypnotics are the sleep inducing drugs. नींद की दवाइयाँ, what we commonly say they are the sleep producing agents. At the particular group of compound which is known as barbiturates, they are the derivatives of barbituric acid and its derivatives. They are commonly known as barbiturates, and these compounds act as hypnotics, that is the sleep producing agents. For example, Veronal, Seconal, Numulin, they are the common drugs which are used in this case. Some drugs are mild tranquilizers and are used for relieving mental stress and tension. For example, chlordiazepoxide and meprobamate. These are the drugs which used as mild tranquilizers and they are used for relieving mental stress and tension. So these are the different types of tranquilizers. Hypnotics, antihypertensive drugs and antidepressants. Now the second type of neurologically active drug is analgesics. What analgesics are? Neurologically active drug which reduce or abolish pain without causing impairment of consciousness, mental confusion, paralysis or some other disturbance in the nervous system are known as analgesics. So analgesics are the neurologically active drug which abolish or reduce pain. Now analgesics can be of two types. The first is non-narcotic analgesics. Non-narcotic means these are those analgesics which are non-addictive in nature or non-habit forming. By taking these analgesics, these are actually the commonly used painkiller drugs like aspirin, paracetamol. Aspirin is a very important analgesic, and in examination point of view also it has been asked many times. Like the chemical name of aspirin is 2-acetoxybenzoic acid, and it is also an anti-inflammatory drug. It is given in case of inflammation of any body part. It is also a kind of antipyretic drug. Both aspirin and paracetamols are antipyretic drug. Antipyretic means the drugs which are given in case of fever. When the body temperature is high, these drugs are given to reduce the high body temperature. And one thing more very interesting about aspirin, that aspirin is also used as anti-blood clotting agent. It helps to prevent the blood clotting, and hence aspirin is given in case to prevent heart attacks. Many heart patients they use aspirin drug in their medicines. Then comes narcotic analgesics. These are the addictive drug. These are the drugs which are habit forming drug, and they are administered in very small medicinal doses so that they can relieve pain and produce sleep. We should remember that narcotic drugs are only and only given in the case when the person is suffering from severe, I can repeat, severe pain, like in case of post operative pain, cardiac pain, even terminal cancer patients, and in case of childbirth we use narcotic analgesics. Popular examples are morphine and heroin. So this is all about neurologically active drugs, which are of two types here we have studied in our syllabus: tranquilizers and analgesics. Thank you, children.